How could they film this?
It's gotta be a deep fake.
Mistakes do happen. That's all this is, okay?
I will make you pay for this.
Greetings, my friend.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, Slopwood Cinema was floating through space, staffed by 2 skeletons, a penguin, and a bear. The theater, their home, their movie-watching lair. Adrift in the stars, they express commentary, protected by me, a galaxy named
Gary, would you please shut the f*** up?
How rude.
Of this court.
To hell with the rules.
No, I cannot.
Break them.
No,
Bend them.
if you stay in that chair, you're going to be executed.
Oh, hi there. My name is Prostetnic Vogon Jeffs, and in this video I'm talking about the 2026 Amazon MGM sci-fi thriller, Mercy, directed by Timur Bekmambetov. Okay, maybe if I do this in a Russian accent, it'll be a little bit better. Timur Bekmambetov. That's good enough. From a script by ChatGPT, aka Marco Van Bell, Mercy is the story of a Los Angeles police detective who is accused of murdering his wife and must prove his innocence to an artificial intelligence court that he helped create.
Hold on, wait a second. This can't be real.
I assure you this is very real.
It's a borderline screen life style movie starring Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson, and a handful of C-list supporting actors who barely earned their paychecks. And if I have to experience its undeniable stupidity, so do you, damn it. All right, let's get this over with. All right. Okay, so we've got some opening narration to cover. Millions of people have been affected by crime. Civil unrest was at an all-time high. Mass unemployment and homelessness drove Los Angeles into a crime epidemic. I guess all of those out-of-work writers and actors went mental.
No.
Prisons were overcrowded. Citywide red zones were established to restrict individuals implicated in violent activities. Still, hundreds of our heroes in blue were killed in the line of duty.
Now extreme circumstances call for extreme measures. We need the mercy court.
Yawn. Violent capital offenders are now judged by artificial intelligence, which reduces the need for lengthy trials by acting as judge, jury, and executioner.
I am the law!
In this fully autonomous courtroom, suspects are presumed guilty unless proven innocent. And well, leave it to California to completely upend the American constitutional system.
Now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.
That sounds about right.
Mercy has already impartially judged, sentenced, and executed 18 individuals.
I'm sorry, what? 2 years in operation and only 18 cases? You've got a crime epidemic that warrants an entire overhaul to the justice system, but you're only using this AI court technology less than once a month?
Cutting crime in the city by 68%.
Oh, okay, but 68% of what? I mean, thank God we've got this chart. I love how the highest point on this graph is between now and next year. So what you're saying is that LA is already bad enough to warrant using dystopian systems like the Mercy Court? We couldn't show a steady rise from now until 2028 and then illustrate the AI's effectiveness by having a sharp drop in 2029? This chart doesn't make any goddamn sense. I'm guessing this movie takes place about halfway through 2029, judging by the data on display, which means Mercy was introduced mid-2027, prior to which there was already a dramatic decrease in criminal activity. What happened there? No, something isn't adding up here. Mercy uses hard facts and a wealth of evidence to ensure justice is served within hours of a murder being committed. And Chris Pratt is its next case. Sorry, Chris Raven. Wait a minute, is that right? Is that his name?
I'm Chris Raven from Robbery Homicide. I don't belong here.
Holy shit, it is. Was this movie written by a 13-year-old?
Guilty as charged, Your Honor!
His name is Chris Raven. His name is Chris Laser. Chris Viper. His name is Chris Vengeance.
Touchdown.
Chris Raven wakes up with a hangover in Mercy Court, with AI Judge Maddox presiding. He's confused, disoriented. He's forced to swear an oath to tell the truth before finding out he is on trial for the murder of his wife, Nicole. Chris doesn't believe it, so Judge Maddox shows him some condemning video footage of his wife dying.
Who did this to you?
Maddox then encourages him to check out some news broadcasts to see for himself.
Raven and his partner, Jack Diallo, were early supporters of the Mercy program and were responsible for arresting David Webb and bringing the murderer to trial as the first participant in the Mercy Court just 2 years ago. One day he's sending people to the Mercy Court, the next day he's there.
And if you made it past that blatant exposition dump without realizing that David Webb is going to have something to do with the third act shenanigans, well, congratulations on watching your very first movie, I guess.
Should you be found guilty, you will be executed in precisely 90 minutes.
Huh. Did he murder his wife? Is it all a setup? How do you plead, Chris?
Not guilty. I'm not guilty.
Yeah, no f***ing shit. We're not even 10 minutes into the movie and we already know how this cookie-cutter thriller is going to end. Okay, so in order to trigger a mercy trial, the data analysis has to put you at over an 80% guilty threshold. Chris is sitting at 97.5, and in order to avoid execution, he has to reduce that number to 92% by presenting evidence from the digital cloud. Which begs the question, what the f*** are you talking about? Here's the deal. Chris arrived at work but never left his vehicle. Instead, he returned home and spent 26 minutes inside the house with his wife. Their daughter, Britt, returned home from a sleepover shortly after Chris left and found her dying mother. Chris then drove to the Harbor Master bar and began drinking heavily. Now, Chris denies it, but there's video evidence of him getting into a wild brawl with police officers. So, you know, it's not looking good for the former cop. Judge Maddox informs Chris that she's obligated to let him talk to his AA sponsor before proceeding with the trial.
You're supposed to call me, man, if you're thinking about drinking.
Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe? It seems more than a little contrived. Chris's AA sponsor is a dude named Rob, who also happens to work with Chris's deceased wife. Ah, the plot thins. And it's time for an exposition montage. Chris and Nicole get married. They have a kid. Chris's partner gets killed in the line of duty. He begins losing his temper on a regular basis. Chris realizes he is at the mercy of a system he helped create. A system that he believes is only superficially capable of being fair. He's screwed.
I'm f***ed.
He's demoralized and loses hope of being acquitted.
My wife is dead and my daughter's been told that I killed her, okay? So yeah, maybe I need a minute. All right? Do you understand that?
My job is to assess the facts. So no, I do not understand, but I comprehend.
All right, so those are synonyms. Their meanings are virtually identical. Judge Maddox convinces Chris to carry on and at least attempt to prove his innocence.
I need my partner. Give me Jack.
He contacts his partner, Jack. Okay, pause. Let's stop here for a second. I don't have a point to make here, it's just an observation, but there are 4 female characters in this movie. Chris's wife, Nicole, who is almost exclusively referred to as Nick, his partner, Jacqueline, who everyone just calls Jack, his daughter, Britt, who has a unisex name, and Judge Maddox, who doesn't have a first name. I guess what I'm asking here is, does this feel a bit odd to anyone else? You know, how all the men in the movie are just allowed to have their masculine names, but all of the feminine names are made masculine? It's a little weird. Yeah, I'm probably overthinking it. Never mind. Jack is at the scene of the crime and hold on, okay, wait a second. I hate to keep interrupting, but you're telling me that this trial is taking place before the crime scene has been fully processed? If the investigation hasn't been wrapped up, how the hell could you presume to have all of the evidence needed for a trial? Detective Jack agrees to investigate the crime scene with Chris.
But if it ends up looking bad for you, that's exactly how I'm gonna say it looks, okay?
It's all very boring and just reinforces the notion that Chris was involved in a crime of passion.
Fibers all match stuff in the closet. Jack, my hair, my skin, my DNA, it's all over the place.
Until Chris discovers that his wife had a burner phone and was engaging in an extramarital affair with a sous chef from the Hudson Hotel. Now, Patrick is a blatant red herring who is only really in the movie to reinforce the fact that Chris was a shitty husband.
You really blew it, you know that, right? She just needed somebody to talk to. All you had to do was focus a little bit more on your kid and your wife.
And since Chris knows Patrick didn't kill his wife, Judge Maddox increases the probability percentage up to 98%.
Well, at least it's not 100%.
It is not statistically possible to exceed 98% in this court.
What are you talking about? How? What if you had video footage of the defendant caught in the act? What if every single piece of evidence, like literally everything, pointed to their guilt? Why could you not go higher than 98%? Can you explain that? No? Oh, surprise, surprise. You know why they don't explain that in this moronic movie? Because they can't. They're just throwing numbers at you, expecting you to be like,
"Oh, flashing images on TV make me happy."
We get some more exposition about how Chris is an alcoholic and he's upset that he didn't execute the guy who killed his partner.
I should have done it myself on that beach.
I mean, he did the right thing by arresting him, only to have the court system fail and acquit the cop killer. He gets all down on himself yet again, and Judge Maddox is forced to step in and remind him that he might as well continue with his defense. Because why the hell not? I swear, it's almost like Judge Maddox is speaking to the viewer here. You know, saying, hey, you've made it this far into this god-awful movie, you might as well stick it out until the end. After all, what else are you gonna do? Chris calls his wife's lover again, and he drops some convenient information about some crap going missing at her work.
What are you talking about?
She didn't tell you? You know, Snoop been looking into her co-workers.
Oh, God. You know what? I really can't be bothered with this convoluted nonsense. So here's the gist of it. Chris's wife, Nick, was investigating the disappearance of some chemicals at work. Chris uses his daughter's Instagram videos to find someone hiding in their basement, but that doesn't help his case. So Judge Maddox encourages him to continue his line of inquiry on the missing chemicals. He finds some evidence that leads him to believe a guy named Holt could be the killer, but he's forgetting the law and order rule, the Chekhov's gun of television procedurals. If a recognizable actor is introduced in Act 1, odds are that they'll be revealed as the killer in Act 3. Holt hasn't been a big enough part of the movie to be the big bad, which means it's either Patrick, the red herring, the daughter, or... yeah, that's right, it's Rob. It's Chris's AA sponsor.
This is bullshit.
Judge Maddox has some kind of logical breakdown.
I'm not supposed to.
As a SWAT team heads to Rob's house, Chris finds out that Rob was adopted and had a brother. Guess who his brother is? Go on, guess. Yeah, David Webb.
Do you remember David Webb? Do you remember David Webb?
Okay, don't worry, I had forgotten all about him too. But it's that guy from Act 1. The super obvious exposition plant. Anyway, Rob used all of those stolen chemicals to build a bomb. He's already en route to his target.
His target is the Mercy Court. Jack, his target is Mercy.
And I hear you. You want more cliches in this neutered thriller.
No.
You want more predictable slop.
No!
Well, ask and ye shall receive. Rob has taken Chris's daughter hostage.
Jack, it's Britt.
Oh, what? That's not good enough for you? Okay, fine. How about a secret bomb in Rob's terror lab that goes off and takes out the whole SWAT team? For some reason, Chris is engulfed in a 3D simulation of the explosion. His probability of guilt drops to 0, but he refuses to leave his death chair.
We lose cloud access?
Yes, correct.
No, wait, we gotta stop Rob first. I'm staying in the chair.
The SWAT team are all dead.
The SWAT team are dead.
Judge Maddox malfunctions because it can't understand or comprehend how Chris's gut instincts could be right.
The facts made it appear impossible. Your gut instincts were right.
With only 9 minutes left before his execution, Chris uses the digital cloud to track Rob through Los Angeles. Rob manages to careen into downtown LA, back out of the core while fending off a SWAT attack, and then back downtown again within half that amount of time. Bull f***ing shit. Detective Jack hovers in front of Rob for a confession, but she can't keep her gun holstered and takes a shot at the terrorist trucker. She's a terrible shot, and Rob arrives at the Mercy Court, crashing into the lobby. He takes down several police officers while holding Chris's daughter hostage, and Judge Maddox releases Chris from his death chair in the nick of time.
I will assist you however I can.
And he goes down to confront Rob and, I'm sorry, what's that? More cliches? Wow, you are a glutton for punishment. Okay, here you go.
Dead man switch.
Judge Maddox reopens the David Webb trial to distract Rob.
I hereby declare this addendum evidence hearing in the trial of David Webb open.
Okay.
Maddox tells Chris that he can disable the dead man's switch by removing the battery really quickly.
I've heard enough.
Britt escapes Rob's grasp and Chris attacks, subduing his former sponsor. And it turns out that Detective Jack got rid of evidence that would have exonerated David Webb.
You processed Webb. Did he have a cell phone?
You need to hear me, Chris.
You took him in, Jack.
Don't do this.
She did it because they really needed the Mercy Court thing to work.
He buried the phone.
We needed the first trial to be a home run.
Or rather, she really needed the Mercy Court to execute its first defendant to scare the shit out of the public.
We need these scumbags scared. Look at what it's done for us.
We need justice, Jack. Not this.
Jack is arrested, and Judge Maddox is all like,
What have we done?
and Chris is all like,
We just did what we're programmed to do.
and I was all like,
Adios, turd nuggets.
right, so this is basically just War of the Worlds 2.0. The actors are better, the special effects are better, the overall production is, better. But the writing? Well, actually, the writing is better too, but just marginally. However, the plot, the character development, the world building, they're all still garbage. And whether or not AI had a hand in writing the script, it sure as feels like it did. The main protagonist doesn't grow as a character, save for a slight shift in outlook during the conclusion. I mean, the stoic AI has more of a character arc than Chris does, for Christ's sake. The threads holding the story together are laughably ludicrous. Plot holes, logical inconsistencies. Who cares? We've got 2 attractive leads. What more do you want from us?
I said no more questions, Your Honor.
And that right there is Mercy in a nutshell. It's a subpar thriller by every objective metric, held aloft by the passable performances of 2 charismatic and attractive actors. That's it. Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson are the only reasons to watch this movie. The only reasons. And Rebecca Ferguson was cast in a role that required 0 nuance or emotion. Brilliant move, you creatively bankrupt turds. The whole thing then rests on Pratt's shoulders, which, to be fair, isn't stupid on the same level as casting Ice Cube.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
If you're not someone who dislikes the guy based solely on personal preference, you can at least admit that he's good on camera and fairly talented as an actor. I'm not a Pratt mega fan or anything, but he was good enough here that for the first 5 or 10 minutes post-credits, I was actually like, yeah, not a great movie, but it was okay. Now, I came to my senses because Rasputin he is not. I was able to shake his wily charms within a modest amount of time.
You're lying. You're lying.
Which is when I was hit with the sledgehammer of stupidity that is Mercy.
Okay, Jeff, can you back off for a moment?
To this day, it still baffles me how scripts like this can get the green light without anyone in the pipeline going,
Hi, this part of the script, the part that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Maybe we should change that so we don't look like absolute morons.
Do you know why that doesn't happen? It's because the people working on these movies don't care. They don't care about writing a good script. They don't care about making a movie that makes sense. They only care about one thing: getting paid, the money. That's what they're in it for. It's not an art form to these lazy sacks, it's a paycheck. It's not a craft, it's a career opportunity. Mercy is a movie produced by the machine. It has no heart, it has no soul. It may as well have been written by AI because the outcome is equally devoid of life. The worst part of this whole thing is the wasted potential to critique the oppressive and dystopian hellscape of a world that is under constant tyrannical surveillance. The basic message behind the movie is that having access to everyone's personal life at all times is completely normal. But using an AI court of law is kind of a bad idea, unless all of the kinks are worked out. Listen, I'm not a predictive programming nutjob who thinks everything in the media is a conditioning tool for the government. But government propaganda in films is a well-known reality, and this sure as shit feels like predictive programming. So, make of it what you will.
Who's with me?
Man alive, what an absolute waste of time. For everyone. The creators added nothing of value to the entertainment landscape, and the viewers gained nothing in the viewing. Because Mercy is a terrible movie.
They've got to tell people.
Tell them what?
Soylent Green is made out of people.